So welcome everyone. I hope everybody's doing good, having a good time. It's Saturday today, so you know we're shipping on a weekend. We're talking on a weekend, and today we have a very special guest, as always. Somebody who I love to have on. Somebody who I've seen, just shipping and shipping relentlessly, or ever since they did their first ICO. Well, their initial, or their ICO. So I want to welcome Chris here. Welcome, Chris. How
Hello,
are you doing?
hello, hello. Doing well. The first and the only, I see, hopefully. Yeah, no, it's always a pleasure to be here. How's it going, 8-bit?
Yeah. So today we want to cover what's kind of next for Loyal, their
Mm,
upcoming proposal that's actually
mm,
already live and trading, and
yeah.
it's been super interesting to see their TVL go up.
Mm,
So I also want to talk about that.
okay,
So Chris, I'll just let you
mm,
sort of recap the past couple months. What led
sure.
to
Have you
you
read
know
our proposal?
yeah, I've read the proposal, and so I
Okay.
just need you to sort of
Okay.
for the audience,
Yeah, yeah,
just
no,
a recap of the past couple months, what you guys been doing, what you've been shipping, and just kind of what Loyal is about, uh,
yeah.
in case anybody doesn't know.
We automate finance without you giving up custody. So realistically, what it means is that we built, oh, nice view, by the way. We built an ecosystem of smart accounts that allow you to automate your finance and without the security compromises or self-custody compromises. It's built on top of Squat's smart accounts. So it's built on protocol that already secures $15 billion in assets under management. It's been audited twice, formally verified. Right now, the first use case that we are scaling in automation is our earn routing and auto deposit. It's built on top of Squats, obviously, on top of Kamino for earn routing, and auto deposits is like balance sweep, the way you have checking and earning account and the money moves automatically between that. We used Solana subscriptions for that, and that means that now whenever we work with any wallet, hardware wallet, software wallet, doesn't matter. So now whenever money arrives to your USDC balance, they automatically get moved to your smart account, and from that they move to Camino. And because we can do it so well, we unlock a lot of a lot more money for our customers, and we unlock a lot of new really cool use cases that are possible through that. And I think that the growth of our IUM, our assets under management, our active deposits can speak for the truth of the things that we are saying. Because I think right now, based on our stats, we are confident that our hypothesis that users would love to have an easy and automated way to earn, farm their stable coins, that's obviously true. That is obviously true. So right now, as we've finalized exploring the B2C section, I think that we can grow it to maybe 700, 800K. And as we grow it to that number, we would love to start exploring businesses. So with businesses, we are looking at obviously MetaDAO launches. We'll talk about the proposal in a second. We are looking at neobanks. We are looking at payment processors. We are realistically looking at anyone who is holding user money. Neobanks is like the most obvious choice because neobanks of the second generations, the one that are using stablecoin accounts, they don't have right now a way to automate the money flow. And if they cannot automatically move the money for the users, it means that they are unable to tax that money. That means that the only way for them to actually make money is through debit cards. They capture the exchange spread, and that's how most new banks make money. They're bleeding money. They're not making that much from that compared especially to traditional banks. So we hope and we know that the infrastructure that we are scaling and expanding right now will unlock extra sources of revenue that is so needed for neobanks or financial apps or really anyone who's holding the money. It's an easy win. It's an easy win in terms of revenue because you can monetize the user deposits through this. And I think that based on our based on the amount of requests that we're already getting from the businesses, I think that I would expect us to hit 1 million or maybe a couple of million before fall ends. So I would want to raise, as I always said, in the end of fall, a year after our initial ICO, so maybe end of October, November, and we want to be approaching that date with at least 1 million or 1.5 million, 2 million in assets under management. And I think that businesses would be the big unlock that will get us there.
You know what I'm kind of curious about, like,
Mhm.
why has nobody ever done this before? It seems like such a
Um,
straightforward thing to do, and it's all like it's genius, but you know,
yeah,
also kind of
it's
straightforward. So I'm wondering why nobody's
complicated.
really done it.
It's complicated because it is not the way Solana transactions usually work. I'll step in back. So the way EVM chains and the way Solana chains build transactions are very different. So because of the way EVM chains build their transactions and limitations that they have on the way transactions work and you need to build them, they had more incentive to develop the smart account ecosystem. Um, on Solana, each transaction is very explicit. Solana didn't have the issues that Ethereum had with all that building, and that resulted that Solana doesn't really have a widespread smart account ecosystem. Solana didn't have a centralized player like Coinbase that would put money or effort into building that ecosystem out. The only player within smart accounts or multisigs on Solana is Squads, and they have their uh, main product, well, multisig and altitude now, and they have their smart accounts that well, they built and scale. But those smart accounts, they have a steep learning curve. You need to handle outer and inner transactions. You need to handle a lot of non-obvious details and work with a lot of very hard constraints. Like even right now, for example, we are constrained by 1 kilobyte of the transaction. So we need to build all the policies and orchestrate them in a way where we're not going to hit the Solana limits. And it's just very unnatural. It feels very unnatural. It feels very different from the way you usually engage with DeFi. So it's a bit of a nerd snipe, but because we went down that route for uh, such a long time and we went down so deep, we figured out how to make it work. So yeah,
All right, so now let's talk about the proposal itself.
yeah,
Okay, so you've built this product,
mm,
right? And now you're sort of ready to take on, you know,
mm.
a bigger adventure.
Hopefully,
If we
yeah,
can, yeah, hopefully, if we can say
hopefully,
it like that. So let's break down the proposal. You know, it's
yeah,
quite a big proposal. There's multiple components here that we
yeah.
should cover. So
Let's do
let's
it.
start. Yeah. Let's start with and the reason why. So
Mm,
let's start with the over-the-counter sale. And that's kind
mm.
of why I said initial ICO, because it's like, you know, another
Okay,
mini fundraising.
yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about that. What
Um,
First of all,
so
what are the plans? How are you guys gonna do it, and what are you gonna do with the funds raised?
Um, so we're selling up to 300K in dollars of loyal. It's around 2 mil in loyal. Um, to do a small OTC sale, it's going to be a party round. We have a lot of builders that you are and founders that have you're all very familiar with joining our round. So that's kind of cool. You'll see, like, we'll announce all the names once we finalize everything. So I think that you'll be excited about that. The goal here, we secure 300K, and I want to use that to push to at least a couple of mil in assets under management. 300K would be enough for us to live and scale this until November and do another race then when once we have like that traction. And that's it. I guess that's the plan. And we're looking to, like, we have all the commitments. We're just looking to see if we can replace someone, swap someone out if like we don't like them. So we'll see how that goes. But hopefully that is going to give us money to build and scale even further.
So is all the 300,000 already lined up, or are you
Yeah.
expecting, other people to join in, or is that, fully
It's mostly lined
subscribed?
up. Yeah. No, it's oversubscribed mostly. We're choosing who to go with because we work with a lot of big names, and I think that it would be very nice to convince them to join our OTC to show that we are moving in this automation direction together. I think it can be a very good symbolic gesture. So we are nailing down like big ecosystem partnership like through OTC this way. So I think that this can be very cool. And yeah, it kind of aligns us, our investors, because we didn't want to, obviously, 2 mil is a lot of tokens. We didn't want to do it with just random people that we've never met. We want to have investors who want to see Loyal grow. We want to have investors who understand us, understand our vision, and understand how much fucking money we can make with this. And yeah, I guess that's it.
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's two smaller, or like
Mm-hmm.
smaller things I just want to touch on briefly, which is the realigning incentives and the
Mm.
governance upgrade, and then we can get on to the more
Yeah.
exciting autonomous vault. But I just
Yeah,
want to
sure.
like touch on briefly about the realigning
So
incentives and upgrading the governance.
yeah, incentives are very easy. So we just want to burn our incentives because they keep confusing the explorers, like DeFi screeners. They keep inflating our market cap, and it's just for most of the explorers, they look like some wallet is holding a ton of loyal, and it's bad for the traders. They don't like that. So we're burning those incentives, and we're moving to the program that means incentives as we hit them. That's just for that. It's just convenience. In terms of governance update, sort of the same thing. We updated so some proposals don't need to be traded on. It's like you can veto. I think it's like optimistic governance things the way Avicii did it. And also we increased the stake for proposal to go live from half a mil to a mil, just because we are doing OTC and there's more tokens in circulation, and we want to ensure that we don't have to deal with adversarial capital, adversarial props. So having at least some level of control over that, not control, but some level of stability over that. It was important for us to know that only through collaboration of all our whales and ourselves can we raise a proposal.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with
Mm.
what you said. I think especially
Yeah.
for all the MetaDAO launches, it's very important
Mm-hmm.
to have like a
Yeah,
proper threshold for proposals for
because like
adversarial capital.
we want to scale business. We want to scale business. We want to make money. Like I don't want to deal with adversarial capital or like adversarial proposals. I don't want to deal with people trying to liquidate us. So like just randomly, like the way, like like there's a lot of adversarial capital in the ecosystem that would try to do that. So we just want to scale the business. We don't want to be worried about that, because even with this proposal, it took like at least a couple of days, at least half a week to prepare, do everything, and it was, well, just for it to pass. So it's like we can get the money. It's just it's annoying, but I really hope that the updating governments will fix that.
Yep, I think that's a great upgrade. So let's get on to the most exciting part, I think, which
Autonomous treasure
is
vaults, yeah.
the autonomous treasury vault. So you guys
Mm.
are the first one to do something like this. It's a very
Mm-hmm.
experimental and
Mm-hmm.
a brave undertaking.
It's
So
not that
I
brave.
just well, it
It's
is a
okay.
little bit. So I just want to get behind,
Mm.
why you're
Yeah,
doing this and what it may unlock, not for just you guys, but maybe perhaps for
yeah.
other
I
treasuries as
think
well.
um, I'll start with motivation first. So MetaDAO's main business is launching. It's a launchpad, and they will always be focused on launching the projects because that's how they make money and that's how their business model works. They're interested in getting as many uh, high quality projects as possible to launch with them. An unfortunate byproduct of that is that there are nearly no resources for those who did launch. Like that creates a lot of friction because um, every you have a lot of idle capital sitting in treasuries, and every action with that capital has the governance overhead, where everything has to go through prediction markets, and that means that you cannot safely deploy that capital without the proposal, and you cannot pre-approve particular actions. That creates situations where there are like 20, 25 at this point million of USDC just sitting idle throughout treasuries. Even if we take T-bills, they give 4.5% right now, that you would be able to at least earn on that idle capital. Um, Take MetaDAO, they passed a security proposal with that firm 3 months ago, I think, and they paid 300K for that contract if they had 9 million idle capital in their treasuries. If they used even regular T-bills, they would be able to cover the proposal completely. They didn't use them because of the government, once again, government's overhead. So the way we solve it is that we use also squads, but we use squads V5, not V4. And V5, they have pre-approved actions the way like our own smart accounts work on within our BTC product. So what we did is that we created this smart account with our treasury as the only signer. So only treasury can control that smart account. And we did a couple of pre-approved policies to be able to deposit and withdraw from Kamino, to be able to deposit and withdraw from Meteora pools, and to be able to send the money back to the treasury. This realistically allows us to unlock DeFi for our idle capital. We finish OTC, we move all the money into autonomous treasury vault, and we showcase that you can unlock DeFi, you can unlock any blockchain operations for the MetaDAO treasuries, and you can make it secure and keep the investors protected because we need to make this money work because it's a lot of money on the table, a lot of money that can be put to a better use. Uh, I'm confident if Avicii, Umbra, MetaDAO, Credible, anyone, like really any project, would get a better use out of their idle capital that would be beneficial to them. They even if they take all the profits and put it into ads on X, the Everything app, uh, there would be some positive outcome from that. It is anything is better, almost anything is better than having your money sit idle in your treasuries. Because as we always say, idle money is an invisible tax on your entire portfolio. And I don't know about you, but I fucking hate taxes. So please don't pay that.
Yo, somebody should clip that. Somebody should
It's
quote that. But yeah, are you guys gonna be so?
Mhm. So
I
the
think
plan right
last
now,
time, yeah, last time we spoke, I know you were
mhm,
very bullish on policies and
yeah,
smart accounts, and I think
yeah,
you're absolutely right. Like I'm also
yeah.
much more of a big believer ever since then. Um, that was a really good combo. So yeah, are you guys using your own infrastructure, or like
No, we have
how can we
everything.
how can yeah how do we imagine this these this idle yield, like how's it gonna be used, like how are
Mhm.
you automating it, or
Yeah, so Right now, our pilot program starts with two things. We a able to deposit money into main market on Kamino, just because it's the biggest one, the least exposure to anything else, gives around 5% APY on average. And we also support depositing money into Meteora pools to provide additional liquidity for the traders and compound the fees within those pools, because, well, we want to collect those and use them for the betterment of the product. So the idea here is that we're going to move money into autonomous treasury vault. It's going to farm money either through Kamino, through Meteora pools, and all the revenue will go back to the treasury. And it's up to the market really to figure out what would be the best use of that revenue, because our salaries are still capped by 60K per month allowance. So outside of that, everything goes back to the treasury, and it's up to us and the holders and the market to figure out what we want to do. If we want to do buybacks with extra revenue, we can do buybacks. I would be rather against that, but we can do buybacks. If we want to do something else, we can do something else. I think that it's really cool because it gives the investor protections and transparency that have never been seen before. Because MetaDAO gives you transparency and protections, but they don't give you access to DeFi. The moment you unlock idle capital, you can build so many more things within the MetaDAO ecosystem that were not possible before, just because of the governance overhead. We start small. We start with ourselves. I think that will take 2-3 weeks to finish this pilot. So the prop is going to finish in 7 hours. We'll launch autonomous vault hopefully Sunday, Monday. We'll do the announcement. You'll be able to check it out. And after that, after 2 weeks of that, I think that we'll start onboarding other MetaDAO projects as well, because they're all suffering from the same thing. Solomon suffers from the same thing. Umber suffers from the same thing. Paystream, Avicii, Ripcars, they're all suffering from the same thing, just because it's a given that this thing will exist in this form because of how MetaDAO treasuries will work, and we see ourselves as complementary, like our autonomous vaults are very complementary to every MetaDAO treasury, and we want to work closely with every team that launched in MetaDAO to craft custom vaults for them that makes sense for them. So, for example, in case of Omnipair, it might be using idle capital to bootstrap the markets. They see a new meme, they immediately bootstrap the market without having to put their own money in. There's a lot of different use cases that we can explore with each protocol, and I think that there's a lot of promise there. There's a lot of promise there. It's an easy way for us to grow active deposits, and B, it's an easy way for the projects to get the most out of their money. So yeah.
Yeah, and are you guys just curious because of the OTC proposal? And this just came into mind. Are you guys looking to increase the monthly allowance since you'll have a
No,
bigger budget, or is that just
no.
to extend the runway and that's it?
Our runway, to extend the runway, we are not planning to increase allowance anytime soon.
All right, and then what's next for Loyal? So you mentioned, it's gonna be a two, three week pilot program. So
Yeah.
what can we expect after this proposal?
Growth in active deposits. So right now we are at 400 active deposits. We finished this proposal. We put 100K, I think, into earn. So we'll cross 500,000 by then. We finish OTC. We expect 300 more to get into our earn routing into our autonomous vault from that OTC. So that means that's already at 800K at least. If we go to 800K, a million is possible. So I think that we realistically can get our B2C to around a million in active deposits around by September, maybe mid-September. And after that, we'll be looking to other businesses. An average business, like financial business, has 5 10, 15 million user deposits. So it's a big win for us. Our business model is that we charge 70 cents on $1,000 of active deposits. So it means that a million in active deposits, we're making around 8 grand per year. With 10 million active deposits, we're making 84 grand per year. And with 100 mil, we're making almost a mil per year.
All right. Well, that is quite the goals there. 100 million deposits. Well, I hope I hope you
Um,
guys get there.
no, you see, I don't think this is a challenging goal. I don't think it's a hard goal. That's the problem, because I think it's an easy goal. Because, like, think about this. The feature is a month old, and into a month old feature, we got from consumers alone 500,000 in deposits. It is. We have business in pipeline with 5, 10, 20 million in deposits. Like, think about this. If we, with realistically 200k, because like the buybacks, they pivot, but realistically this, like, this feature was built with 200k. Like, if we use 200k to build this feature and scale it to 500,000 deposits and potentially go to a million by September, uh, 10 starts to seem possible, right? So if 10 is possible, and we know that an average finance business has 5, 10, 15 million in deposits, so 100 million in deposits is like 10 businesses that we can land. Realistically, I know that there are a lot of businesses in the world, right? There's a ton of businesses in the world, that's a fact. So 100 mil does not seem threatening, because 100 mil is just 10 businesses. What, are we not going to onboard 10 businesses? Come on, like, this is silly. I think that a billion in active deposits, that's a big goal. That's an ambitious goal. It's like onboarding 100 businesses, that's harder. But 10 businesses, that's trivial, that's easy. Figure out the legal, figure out what makes businesses happy, and I think it's like very straightforward.
Well, I guess my concern or my
Mhm.
question about onboarding 100 businesses, are
Mhm.
we talking about stablecoin based businesses, or are we talking about onboarding net new?
Stablecoin business.
Okay, stablecoin businesses. Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
think about neobanks, even Avicii. Think about just payment processors who are dealing with user payments. Think about other financial apps who, for example, let people buy stock, and they're all, even if you're holding stable coins for a day or two, it's something that you can be making money on. And it's just an easy win for them, because um, these apps, they severely under monetize their user base. The difference between traditional finance and neobanks, like new finance, is that traditional finance, they're way better at monetizing their users. They have loan instruments, they have credit risk assessments, they have all those like traditional finance tools that they can make the money on, like even loans. Unfortunately, neobanks and finance apps, they don't have that stream of revenue, and they have a lot of users. They dominate in user acquisition. They just struggle to monetize them. And our hope here is that, here's a big tip of insight for you. And since I'm in San Francisco and I talk to people, I know people, um, every neobank that went through Y Combinator in the last 2 or 3 batches, they're all on Solana. Like, if we scale, when we show that it works, when we figure out the legal nuance in Europe, legal nuance in Asia, legal nuance in North America, it will be the most easy scale up possible, because our system works is that you don't pay us, we take payments from the user deposits, and we orchestrate those user deposits so you can make money, users can make money, and we can make money, and you don't pay us anything. Um, it's impossible in the world of SaaS. It's possible in our world, and I think, like, through that orchestration and through the way we approach that, I think that it's a win-win scenario really for a lot of businesses, because that goal, I think I mentioned that to you last time I saw you, the goal of consumer-facing businesses is not to focus on R&D. Their goal is to be the best at attracting users. Their goal is to be the best, have the lowest customer acquisition costs. Phantom doesn't care about being the best swap infrastructure. Phantom doesn't care about being or building out prediction market infrastructure. Phantom cares about being the most popular wallet on Solana. And the infrastructure, like the DeFi guys can figure that out and give it to Phantom so it can monetize it. We want to be that for finance app, consumer apps that are building neobanks that don't have the infrastructure support right now, and that is why they're bleeding money. That is why they struggle to monetize, and that is why they really need us. Like we are, like this fish is 2 months old, and we have businesses on our doorsteps that need this and want this and demand a call with us, and we literally have no resources to figure out the legal and how not to get screwed over by bad actors. That's why we do OTC, because we need to grow, and in order to grow, we need some money for legal and to show great results. And I think that once the Treasury passes, we're passing half a mil. That looks solid enough for businesses. If we pass 800K, as I told you, we will in August. This will be already solid enough, and then we'll focus just on sales pipeline for the businesses. Then it's just a matter of good enough funnel, good enough salespeople, and we're very fucking good at sales.
All right. I think that's a good place to
Yeah,
come to an end of this
thank
episode.
you.
Do you think we missed anything? Is there anything you want to say that maybe
Mm.
you didn't get a chance to talk about?
Yes, yes. If you are a payment processor in your bank, a business, or if you're just holding a ton of money on chain, um, reach out. We'll be more than happy to build custom vaults that make sense for you and for the things that we're doing. Good example of that is we're starting working with a lot of nonprofits, art nonprofits in San Francisco and San Francisco area. A lot of them are raising endowments of 1 million, 500,000, 2 million, 10 million, and they all have the same issue. They don't want that money to be idle. They want to earn like rewards yield from that money to cover operations, but at the same time they want to have full control, full custody of the money. Right now there are no solutions out there for them, and if we just onboard that community, we'll get multiple millions in active deposits. We'll be able to make a ton of money and make them happy. So if you think that you have idle cash and you think that you don't trust DeFi, another topic. If you don't trust DeFi, if you don't want to deal with how manual DeFi is, and you want to get the best out of your money, we are probably the best place on Solana for that right now.
All right. And that is a good way to end the episode today.
Mhm.
Thank you, Chris, for coming on.
It's
It was a pleasure to have you on.
it's always a
And
pleasure.
yeah, I hope to talk to you soon. And I'll definitely keep an eye out on Loyal.
Fingers crossed.
And
Fingers crossed.
yeah, thank you for anybody tuning in today. It was an awesome episode, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.